As Shen Xiang stood hovering in air admonishing, the efforts of judging from the impact of earlier attacks of the protagonist, not being able to cause any damage, confidently felt that the protagonist could not cause much harm. Menacingly asked if the protagonist thought that he could win. The protagonist, reflecting from earlier attacks having no impact, agreed that the damage was not effective. The aura of a dragon hovered above Shen Xiang along with an aura of a tiger at his right side. Shen Xiang said that he found a way to crack his shield. Shen Xiang was taken aback thinking the protagonist's technique was really weird. The protagonist thought that in the next move he would combine the White Tiger True Chi with Azure Dragon True Chi, accessing that with his level of mastery of the White Tiger Divine Art, it would not be enough, and with the Azure Dragon True Chi already tested and proving to be futile. But the combination of these True Chi might have a special power. Shen Xiang, unable to withstand the protagonist's resilience attitude, flew towards him, declaring that the next attack would make him unable to stand again. Annoyingly asked if the protagonist thought he still had time to think, and attacked by throwing ice shrapnels, a condensed ice needle attack. The protagonist, with quick reflex, avoided the damage while running. Sumeo complimented the protagonist for his quick thinking, for discovering the spiritual technique by himself, adding that the protagonist uses different types of different True Chi, and because of it created a turbulent flow of his True Chi, disrupting the flow of opponent's True Chi. The protagonist, confused, asked about the True Chi turbulence. Sumeo, being the ever-enthusiastic teacher, explained when only one True Chi is used against the ice shield will be affected by the True Chi in one direction, but when he uses another kind of True Chi, they fuse together to form a turbulent flow. The direction of the effect of True Chi on the ice shield will increase, and under the effect of different True Chi flows it becomes easier to destroy the ice shield. The protagonist then concluded as long as more types of True Chi are used at the same time, the effects will be stronger. As he approached Shen Xiang, who was also approaching him with ice needles on front ready for attack. Shen Xiang loudly claimed that he understood and positioned, ready to deliver an attack, with chi gathered at his fist, looking with determination at oncoming Shen Xiang. Shen Xiang, while directing his attack towards the protagonist, thought that the protagonist was really giving him a bad feeling, therefore, he needed to defeat him as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Shen Xiang readied himself to attack, gathering and fusing all the True Chi, the 4 elephant divine arts, into the punch. As he waited for the chance to attack, the pressure of the ice attacks was also becoming heavier, and his meridians surging wildly and his power seeming to be sucked away. Just standing also seems to be getting difficult. Shen Xiang, sensing the protagonist's struggle, summoned a large ice above him, and with condensed ice needle, attacked him, determined to finish Shen Xiang with this last move. The protagonist, withstanding the force, knew he needed to win. As the ice neared the protagonist, it was turned into ice shield. With 4 elephant fists he struck, the ice shide was shattered like glasses, shocking Shen Xiang. The impact made Shen Xiang spurt out blood and fell to the ground, lifeless. Shocking especially Shen Jinhua and his father Shen Xiang, along with spectators. An elder loudly proclaimed Shen Xiang as the winner. The crowd cheered on his name, chanting that there was now a hope for their Shen family, and his father gestured a thumbs up to his son. Shen Xiang also gestured back, but exhaustion overtook, making him fall down stiff like a statue. Sometime after the match, Shen Xiang is seen bandaged and laid on his bed. Sumeo sat beside the sleeping and unconscious protagonist, contemplating whether to address him as brave or just foolish, and Bai Yu stood beside them, puffing in annoyance. Sumeo, applying the medicine, suggested to let his True Chi run through his meridians and explained that to perform such feats of pouring out all his Chi, he would have been crippled even if he didn't die. If it were a normal person, Shen Xiang smiled like a kid who fought a candy snatcher and saved his candy, asked if he can still be considered as an ordinary, adding that he was still alive and well, also in a good shape, leaving Su Meo astounded, and Bai Yuyu unable to control. Her anger shouted what the protagonist was thinking, if he were to be killed. Shen Xiang meekly answered that he was glad that Bai Yuyu cared about him, leaving Bai Yuyu flustered and Su Meo bickering at Bai Yuyu. Bai Yuyu reminded that it was only for the blood contract. Suddenly, Shen Xiang remembered something and ran to retrieve something, and leaving them wondering. As he retrieved something, Shen Xiang remembered what Su Meo had said regarding hell spirit grass healing properties and to cut it in half and soak in the medicinal wine. With a grin, looking towards the two girls, Shen Xiang suggested that it was time to drink it. As they drank the wine, Su Meo praised the hell spirit grass as a treasure of heaven and earth. A single cup had the ability to restore their flesh to 10% of its strength before the injury. Shen Xiang, after hearing her words, said that he should soak the remaining half too, if that was the case. Bai Yuyu nonchalantly replied that he should preserve it and not waste it, adding that the hell spirit grass is a treasure in the mortal martial world, but has little effect on the people of their realm. Su Meo affirmed and said that he needed to work hard and reach true martial realm so that he could help them. Shen Xiang then wondered and said that the once unattainable true martial realm seems to be getting closer and closer, leaving both Su Meo in shock and Bai Yuyu in annoyance. Bai Yuyu, in a drunken state, reiterated if mortal martial world thought that the true martial realm cultivator was powerful, while Su Meo, almost biting her fingers, suddenly seems to remember something. Bai Yuyu then proceeded to explain and threw the protagonist against the ground, saying there was Nirvana realm, immortal martial realm, and so on, making the individual strong enough to even ascend to immortal martial world, calling the protagonist as unambitious boy. Puzzled Shen Xiang lay on the floor as Bai Yuyu foot stomped near his head, confused and flustered. He asked her not to be angry. Su Meo said that Bai Yuyu was drunk, saying that Bai Yuyu never touched alcohol and would get drunk with just a drop, leaving the protagonist shocked. As Bai Yuyu sat on top of the protagonist, Su Meo continued saying that the cultivators could disperse alcohol with their true qi, and said that the last time Bai Yuyu was drunk was more than 100 of years ago. Suddenly, Bai Yuyu jumped up and kicked the bed and making it split in half, with intense aura, leaving both the protagonist and Su Meo fearful and shocked. Bai Yuyu turned towards the protagonist with flustered face, twisted the protagonist's arms back, saying that it was now her turn to train the protagonist, and that he should hurry to improve himself, as the protagonist cried and shouted for help in agony and torment.